Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be turning our PrimeWeld Mig 180 into the ultimate mobile machine. So yes, this thing is pretty mobile already, but I want to take it one step further. Right now it's a two-hand job or a two-person job. You either have to have a tank that has a good handle on it and be able to hold it in either hand, or have a buddy hold it, stuff like that. And yes, you can build a cart and wheel it around on the cart around the shop, but I want to make something that when your buddy needs something welded, or at least the guy that claims he's your buddy when he finds out you have a welder needs something welded, that we can grab with one hand, throw it in the back of the car, and go get a job done. Hello?
So, hey, I heard you had a welder.
Yeah?
You think maybe I could borrow that?
I'll be there in a bit. This is dumb. Okay, so we got this all whipped out now, and if you haven't figured it out yet, what we're doing is we were making a bracket on the back to facilitate this 20-ounce CO2 bottle. So if you haven't watched my other video on welding CO2 versus argon, we can pop that up here. You'll know that we can MIG weld with CO2. And I chose this 20-ounce bottle because it felt like a good medium range. You can get other bottles like this that are 9 ounces, but this 20-ounce bottle running at just below 10 CHF, which is what I'm usually running when I'm running this machine. You don't need a lot of gas to run this machine, which is really cool. But running at 10 CHF, you almost get 30 minutes of trigger time out of this bottle. So to make this work, we're going to need a couple of adapters to hook this guy up to the standard argon regulator that it comes with. First off, we are going to need this little guy, and this is going to be an adapter from a CGA 580, which is the one that connects directly to our argon regulator, to a CGA 320, and that is going to be your standard CO2 fitting. And then to adapt our standard CO2 fitting to our paintball canister, we're going to need this little guy. And so this is going to be the 320 to whatever the paintball fitting is. So I'll leave some links to these guys in the description just in case this is a little project that you would like to take on yourself, along with some clamps that are similar to these. I picked these up at my local auto parts store, but if you don't have access to this, I will find some similar ones to drop below that will work.
Hey, I heard you had a welder.
I'll be there in a bit. What you got? Okay, so all in, hanging there, she comes in at 47.6 pounds as a package. And also I forgot to say that that weight is with a 10-pound spool in here. So if you just had the smaller 2-pound spool, you could drop 8 pounds off that and get this down to below 40-pound package, which is really reasonable for the quality welds this thing can do, and that you can just pack it and plug it into a 110 wall outlet. So I'm pretty happy with it. There's a couple things I'm going to do. I'm probably going to paint this up, make it a little cleaner. I think I'm going to add a shutoff valve somewhere in here so I can isolate the high pressure tank, because CO2 is a high pressure gas and the paintball tank doesn't have a shutoff valve itself. So the only thing I can do right now is turn my metering valve off to shut that gas off. The other thing, obviously this metering gauge is on its side, so what you're gonna have to do is tip that bottle at an angle and set your CHF before you stick it inside of the clamp so that it can use gravity to float that ball and you can get the correct reading. You don't want to stick it completely horizontal because, like I said, CO2 is a liquid and you don't want that liquid to freeze up your gauge. So hold that at like a 45-degree angle when you do that. The other thing I was planning on doing, but it didn't come in the shipping fast enough, is get some of those ratcheting clamps to be able to clamp on all of my cordage so that I could have this guy all wrapped up here and clamped up neatly and be able to reuse those. I'll probably just zip tie them on for now and then have to clip my zip ties, but it would be nice to, when those come in, get those ratcheting clamps. So this was a super simple project and super satisfying. I made this all out of 1.5" by 1/8" flat bar with a hand drill. So this is something that almost anybody can do in their garage, and you already have the welder if you're making it for it, so you can put that together. One thing I've been thinking about doing, let me know if you guys would be interested in this, is I'm setting myself up a website, and I've been thinking about making a combination for all these projects that I do that would be available in a pattern or a PDF, something that you guys could print off and trace and have patterns for these projects, and or DXF file, so that if you have a CNC plasma cutter of your own, that you could just cut that out on a CNC plasma cutter. And I could sell those patterns for $2 or $3 so that you guys can just spray glue it onto your metal and know where to cut, where to drill, all that stuff. So let me know if that's something you guys would be interested in, patterns and DXF files for all my future projects. And if I do end up doing that, I'll have that link to the website below. So as always, if you want to see more fabrication content, check out some of the links that are going to pop up here. If you want to be notified of upcoming builds, click the bell down below and go build something, guys.